Your overall thoughts on the recruiting class so far?
I'm very, very pleased with the kids that we got. We got 17 high school kids, 3 transfers. We'll probably look for a few more transfers as well at the D-tackle position. But I feel like overall, very talented group of kids, very athletic kids, kids that can help us on either side of the ball, which is really impressive. You just don't have those one-dimensional kids. We got some Kansas kids and kids that we've been battling for the last few years, and we're finally starting to get those kids convinced, to come to Fort Hays State University, and it's working out for us. And they come here, they see the facilities, and meet our coaching staff and our players, and they just feel the family atmosphere, and that's a big part of who we are and what we preach here at Fort Hays State, and they want to be part of it. And we're very excited about these kids coming in and joining our program.
Did you notice on the recruiting trail this year, because of the success of the program, maybe the win over Pitt State and Emporia State, that maybe a difference on the recruiting trail this year?
It is. Winning those games is huge for us, especially beating Pittsburgh State and Emporia State, both at their place. I wish we could have got Washburn. But it does help, and just the relationships that we built with the coaches, and them believing and trusting us that we do have their kids' best interests at heart, that we are going to recruit Western Kansas kids, and it's just taking time to build that relationship back up, and what's there. And when they trust you, and then the kids start trusting you, and they trust their coaches anyway, that has a big impact on the kids that we get and the kids that we can recruit, and it's really worked out well for us, and we're going to continue to recruit Kansas kids and really try to get those kids to come here, and it's just part of who I am, being from Western Kansas, and I know there's some good ones out here. And I consider Colorado kind of Western Kansas anyway because it's so close, and Nebraska kind of the same way. But we want area kids and we want local kids, and I really think you can win with those kids.
Were there any areas you concentrated on, or just trying to get the best available players? How'd you go about it?
When we go through recruiting, we kind of look at what we have, and what we've lost, and what we need, what our needs are. When I looked at our offensive side of the ball, we were pretty much had everybody coming back. We lost Ed Williams, so we signed Flory to replace him, and we lost Hendricks, but I feel like one of our younger guys are going to step up and fill his spot. We lost Ed Smith, so we went and got TJ to fill his spot, and those are the 2 spots I thought we lost. We did sign an offensive lineman out of high school as well, and I think we might try to find a junior college offensive lineman, and we're still possibly looking for a quarterback right now. But then on the defensive side, you lost Michael Jordan, Lindsey, all 4 your D linemen, Jesse Trent, Joita, Tomasi, Brandon Walther, Mike Terry, you lose all those guys, Ed Brown. Those are a lot of guys we lost on the defensive side of the ball, so we got to fill those spots back in and try to get some young kids and develop them. I feel like we got some kids right now that could play, but you just don't know. But I feel like the potential we have defensively, and just to help us out special teams wise. That's been a big concern of ours. A lot of our starters are on special teams and don't get that break that they need. And getting a lot of these kids and these local kids that are going to be an impact in our program and make us better. And with skill guys is kind of what we're looking for. Just athletes that could play either side of the ball and help us out on either side of the ball.
Any surprises one way or the other, either by somebody who did sign or didn't sign?
We just got Romello Burke. He was a big one from Florida, a defensive tackle. He's 6'1", 300. It was kind of between us and Illinois State, and he picked us, and that's a huge one. And we just found that out about 45 minutes ago. He's a big get for us. Sheldon Schmidt was a kid from lacrosse. It was kind of between us and Pittsburgh State University, and he ended up coming to us as well. Lane Beaverly, same thing. One of those kids that was between us, Pitt, and a couple of junior college kids. We got him. Those are big kids to get. Tanner Hopeman, the kid from Abilene, us and Washburn, and Coach Hickel did a great job of getting him to commit to Fort Hays State. So I feel like we did a great job of really honing in on those kids and the kids that we really wanted, and we went after them, and we showed them some love, and it's just because we care about them and we want them.
Of the incoming freshmen, are there any you feel you can play right away? You hope to redshirt most of them like you did last year?
There's a few. Justice Luttrell, linebacker from Colorado. He's a tremendous player. He's 6'2", 205 right now. Great athlete. He was a great tailback too in high school, but he's a kid that might have a chance early. Maybe not start, but possibly get some reps. But he's a kid that he wants to start. He wants to be good. He's very motivated, has a great vision of where he wants to be in the future here. He wants to be an all-conference kid. He wants to be an All-American. He wants to help us win a national championship, and those are the things that kid talks about. And just a very motivated kid. He's going to do everything possible to make sure that he's on the field that first year. You never know, Sheldon Schmidt might, just because of depth needs at defensive end. We might need him to play early. But, most of them are kids that you want to redshirt and want to get them a year stronger and a year in your program to understand what you're doing offensively and defensively. But, the Burke kid might be another kid, that could possibly play early for us. But, that's probably, Latrell's probably the closest, and possibly Burke get some early play time.
How much do you feel like you need to still go out and do? I mean, is there still quite a bit left to do here over the next few weeks?
I think we definitely need to go out and get a couple of defensive tackles. We got some young guys. I need some guys with some experience already, probably a little bit bigger bodies than what we have right now. That's probably the main concern. Maybe a safety, possibly, but right now is probably our D-line is our main concern right now. But I feel like we got kids on the line right now that we're looking at the junior college level, and hopefully we get those kids.
The transfers you announced, are they on campus already?
Yep, they are. Flory's here on campus. T.J. Thomas is on campus as well. Jose Delgado, who was at Butler from Derby originally, is here. Nathan Shepard's here as well. So all those kids are here in our program now, which is good for us and good for them. So then kind of see how we are as a coaching staff, get to know our players pretty well, just learn our systems. And then we'll just kind of see where they fit into our program and what they need to work on to make them better football players. But, I think all four of those guys can have a great impact for us as well.
How do you land a guy from Fresno State?
We were recruiting him out of high school. He's one of our top running backs out of high school. Ended up going to Fresno State instead. Really wasn't happy with playing time that he was getting there, so he gave Coach McCray a call. We got his release and just kept making contact with him and asked if he wanted to be a Tiger, and he ended up wanting to be one. And we wanted him as well, 2 years ago, and I'm just glad we got the opportunity to get him back and see what he can do for us.
Any other questions, guys?
Can you talk a little bit about Hayden Kreiser? I know he's being a little competing with his potential. He'll do a lot for you.
Hayden Kreiser, you just don't know where he can play. He can be a safety, he can be a wide receiver, he's going to play all special teams for us. He's just a good high school football player that's very talented. He's got a headsy, is really headsy about the game of football, knows where to be, always puts himself in great positions. A physical football player as well, and I see that kid really doing some great things for us here in the future. Just a good kid, great in the classroom as well, and wants to be here. And when you get kids that want to be here, that's good, especially from the area. And I like the kid personally. I've known him for 3 years now, just because of my son as well. And I've seen a lot of him. I just like the type of kid that he is, and the type of football player that he is. He's just an all-around great football player.
I know you talked about him as a good special teams, but you see him really helping out on the youth officer defense side too.
I see him, probably, redshirt sophomore year, possibly junior year, getting some time on either side of the ball. I'm kind of selfish, so I want to be a safety for me. So I'll probably pull in that direction, but we'll see if he wants to be a wide receiver. We'll probably move to wide receiver then.
Most of these kids understand and okay with knowing that, hey, we're probably going to redshirt for the most part.
Yeah, so when they come to my office, they always ask that question. Am I going to redshirt? And I tell them 99% of our freshmen redshirt, and I think it's good for them. We'll kind of explain the situation and just getting them a year in our system and understanding what we're doing offensively and defensively. Talk about the weight room and getting bigger, becoming more athletic, and the things that we can do with them, as an athlete, and really focus on their grades this first year to make sure that they make it through all 4 or 5 years. And they understand, and of course they want to play right away, but they also got to understand that you got to put in your time to play, and it's just part of it. It's part of college football. But we tell them, if you're ready, we're going to play you. If you're not, we're going to redshirt you, and that's a talk we're going to have when that time comes.
Can you talk about some of the coaching staff? Have you made some changes to the offensive side? Have you brought a new coordinator in already?
Yes, Jeff Bryant was here at Fort Hays in 05, I believe, 05 and 06. From there, he went to North Texas as the offensive line coach. From there, he went to Texarkana, which would be Texas High School. Was the offensive coordinator there for 4 years. And I just brought him in, interviewed him, and he was just a guy I felt, really felt he fit with our staff. Just his attitude, his philosophy, just kind of the way he carried himself, his confidence in his abilities. you know, made me feel like he was the guy. And, you know, I'm very, very excited to have him and have him be part of our program. And, you know, here in a couple of days, we'll be able to announce our quarterback coach. I think he's a great guy as well, very smart, knows the quarterback position very, very well. And, you know, he knows the game. You know, and both of them, when you look at coaches, you know, you ask yourself, do they have that it factor? And I feel both those guys have that it factor that are going to make our program a lot better.
Well, Brian coach O-line.
Yeah, Bryant will coach O-line, and then unknown name right now, which we'll soon release, will coach our quarterbacks.
Are you planning like any major strategy differences in offense? You start running style offense? Or?
You know, we're going to sit back and look at what our kids can do. You know, look at the type of athletes that we have, and see what our offensive linemen can do, and see what our quarterbacks can do, and the type of skill kids that we have, and just see what fits us best. And kind of put all four of our minds together, mine and my mind, Coach McCrae's mind, Coach Bryant's mind, and our soon-to-be quarterback coach's mind together, and figure out what fits us best. You know, what fits our program best, and what are our kids going to do best. And you know, I feel like we're going to come with a great game plan to make us the best, you know, offensive team in this conference, hopefully.